When we are young, we are mostly busy playing games, playing with our food, discovering our hands and toes, running around in circles, and looking for ways to not be bored as we discover the world around us. But for child prodigies around the planet, they are busy learning complex languages and studying fields or subjects that are more common for adults. Most of these children, as we will see, went on to do great things. Others were affected by emotional issues, and some have a great future and are just beginning to unleash their potential. So please join us as we list some of the smartest kids in the world. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the 6-year-old composer. Wolfgang Amadeus is probably one of the most famous child prodigies to have ever lived, but we thought this list would not be complete without him. At the age of 3, Wolfgang Mozart played the harpsichord, and by 6, he had written his first musical composition. This was followed by the first symphony at the age of 8 and opera at 12. When I was 12, I was mostly fascinated by cartoons and ways to shoot out the loudest fart I possibly could, but I guess composing an opera is cool too. The legendary composer's musical talents were quickly discovered shortly after his birth in Salzburg, Austria in 1756. As a 5-year-old, Mozart performed at the University of Salzburg with the piano and at the imperial court in Vienna the next year. At the age of 14, he set out to Italy to become an opera composer. He died at the age of 35 and left behind more than 600 composed pieces. And as we all know, Mozart is one of the most talented composers to have ever lived. We could go on and on about his life, but we need to continue on this list. William Rowan Hamilton, multilingual by the age of 5. Born in Dublin, Ireland in 1805, William Rowan Hamilton showed his intellectual abilities at an early age, mastering Greek, Latin, and Hebrew by the age of 5. And you know, to me this is mind-boggling at this age, because I was okay at my native language. Maybe I could fluently kind of speak, and I knew a couple of words in English, but mastering Latin, to me that is a whole other world. But anyways, William, by the time he was 13, the future mathematician knew 13 different languages, including Sanskrit, Persian, Italian, Arabic, Syriac, and Indian dialects. At the age of 15, Hamilton found errors while studying the works of French mathematician Pierre Simon, Marquis de Laplace. He was appointed professor of astronomy, director of the Dunsink Observatory, and the Royal Astronomer of Ireland while he was studying as a university student. His greatest contributions include a theory of dynamics and quaternions, a method used for three-dimensional space in mathematics. Ireland's greatest mathematician was knighted in 1835 and died in 1865. William James Sidis, the smartest man who ever lived. At 8 years old, William James Sidis developed a new logarithm table based on the number 12 and gave a lecture at Harvard University a year later. The child genius set the world record as the youngest person to enroll at the prestigious university at the age of 11 and graduated cum laude 5 years later. Whenever I hear these stories of child prodigies entering university so young, I always think to myself how weird it must be to be in their shoes and experience this level of scholarity at that age despite their mental capabilities. I mean, how must that feel? The emotional impact of you being so young and experiencing this with other adults. But anyways, some consider Sidis to be the smartest man who ever lived, with an estimated IQ of 250 to 300. Before his own experience with the terrible twos, Sidis had taught himself to read and shortly thereafter become fluent in 8 languages and wrote 4 original works of his own by the age of 7. After an incredible childhood, or lack of it, adulthood was a struggle for Sidis, and newspapers at the time reported that his genius had burned out due to the numerous obscure blue-collar jobs he obtained throughout his life. Shakuntala Devi, the Hindu mathematical wizardess. Born in 1939 in Bangalore, India, to a lion-tamer father, Shakuntala Devi started her relationship with numbers through card tricks she played with her father at the age of 3. Personally, as a father, I find these stories so fascinating, since her father probably just wanted to kill some time with her daughter while teaching a thing or two, but I bet he never imagined it would be the beginning of a love relationship with numbers. Nicknamed the human computer and Hindu mathematical wizardess, Devi demonstrated her mathematics abilities at the University of Mysore and Annamalai University as a child. Her talent has been mentioned in the Guinness Book of World Records several times, such as when she extracted the 23rd root of a 201-digit number mentally, and when she found the cube root of 332,812,557 in seconds. In 2006, she published in The Wonderland of Numbers, a story about a girl fascinated with digits. Robert James Fischer, the greatest chess player. At 14 years old, Robert Bobby Fischer won the World Chess Championship, becoming the youngest winner of the title. In that year, he captured the attention of the chess world with what has since been dubbed as the game of the century. He broke another record the following year when he became the youngest international grandmaster of all times at the age of 15. In 1972, he became the highest rated player in history with a FIDE rating of 2785. In 1992, he played a match against an old rival in Yugoslavia and violated a United Nations sanction. Fischer dodged authorities for the next 12 years until his capture in Japan in 2004. He was eventually released in 2005 and granted Icelandic citizenship. I think this is kind of sad, since this is a clear example of abusing your mental power or your mental intelligence. But anyways, throughout his chess career, he set many records, including beating 2 components at a quarterfinal and semifinal for the World Championship with identical scores. Fischer died in Iceland in 2008, but his chess-playing prowess will live on in chess championship legacy. Kim Ong-young, a guest physics student at age 3. At the age of 3, Kim Ong-young began taking courses as a guest physics student at Hanyang University in South Korea. By the age of 8, he was invited by NASA to study in the United States. Wait, what? By the age of 8 studying at NASA? That is insane. All I wanted to study at that age was how to get the most power out of my super soaker, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is that Kim Ong-young was born in 1962 and is listed as having the highest IQ at 210 in the Guinness Book of World Records. The young prodigy began speaking at 4 months old, and merely 2 years later, he was able to read in Japanese, Korean, German, and English. As a 16-year-old, Kim left NASA and decided to attend college in Korea to earn a doctorate in civil engineering. Kim has been an adjunct professor at Chungbuk University since 2007 and has published approximately 90 papers on hydraulics in scientific journals. Jacob Barnett, the next Nobel Peace Prize winner. Jacob Barnett began attending Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis when he was just 8 years old. With an IQ of 170, higher than Albert Einstein's, Barnett could be in line for a future Nobel Peace Prize, according to one of the world's leading scientists and the 13-year-old's professor at college. His mother told the Indianapolis Star that her son tested out of Algebra 1 and 2, geometry, trigonometry, and calculus after 2 weeks of studying on the front porch. I think this is a clear example that you could study anywhere as long as you focus. That example goes out to my mom that never believed I could study in bed. But anyways, let's carry on. Sadly, despite Barnett's mental prowess, he had Asperger's syndrome, which is a mild form of autism, but he never let that slow him down. Actually, since his enrollment, Barnett has been taking advanced astrophysics classes and is working on expanding Einstein's theory of relativity. He is also working on challenging the Big Bang Theory. So, we'll never know what Jacob Barnett could be up to next, but we sure hope it could be something that can help out humanity. We hope you enjoyed our list of some of the smartest kids in the world that have lived or are currently still alive challenging humanity's greatest questions. Who knows, we might hear about their great feats in the future, and we hope we do. So, please subscribe, give us a comment if you liked our video, hit the like button, and we hope to see you soon on the next video from Mindspun.